Frizz and Gemz, and we back in the spot. Other podcasts, beware, we taking your spot. The way we sound on the mic is definitely hot. Stadium seats, we on fleek, you can like it or not. A podcast, stadium seats, the stadium packed. We got the live broadcast and we bringing the facts. See the tailgate crazy, the fans they amaze me. Salute to all the fans who've been rocking with us lately. Each week, stadium seats, here we go. Number one show, that's us, let them know. So when we go live, the magic begin. Box seats, the box office, we call that a win. No secret, sports mania that's always within. Frizz and Gemz, history, let the show begin. Love.
Stadium seats, here with Frizz, Gemz, and Tay-Tay.
Yeah.
Number one source for sports podcasting.
Yeah.
Giving you big news today. We are now official. We are live. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on iTunes podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Seats Stadium. That's our Twitter handle. You can also email us at stadiumseatspodcast@gmail.com. Heck yeah. Congratulations, guys. We made it.
We made it. Yeah. Woo! We made it. And you know what? Hey, Frizz, and you know what? Since we, we're on all those different outlets there, Tay-Tay came to work. So give a shout out to her. Thank you.
Heck yeah.
Shout
there
out
we
to
go.
me. I know y'all miss me, but
Thanks for showing up here. Thanks.
So let's kick off the show as we always do. Okay, we got a lot to talk about. Probably not enough time, but the most important thing, and we do have our first emails
yes.
from fans,
Get the shirts
from
ready.
our listeners,
And we have a winner.
and we actually, another round of applause, have a winner for the T-shirt.
Yeah.
The Hanes Fruit of the Loom white plain
Press on.
T-shirt. That's to David Ramirez out of H-Town, Houston, Texas.
Shout out to
shout
all
out.
the Houston people.
Yeah.
Down south in the H-Town, representing the Astros.
H-Town.
We'll email him and get his size T-shirt, and then we'll, mail it to him.
You know what? I'll even buy a new Sharpie to,
Perfect.
make it a little bit special.
Sharpie.
And remember, David, if you're listening, that is a one-time wear. Do not wash it. The colors will bleed.
Yes.
The marker will bleed.
David, we are a low budget show here. Okay. Thanks.
Maybe down the road we can get some printed stuff, but right now this is what we're working with. Okay, so today the topics that we have are pretty impressive and something that's interesting to us all, and something we never really talked about here is baseball. So Tana, what do we got here today on tap?
For this segment, we're going to address a couple of emails. So this is a big segment because not only are we on all these social media platforms, but we also have a couple of emails. We only mentioned David because David was our very first and our winner. We have a couple of other emails. We also going to be talking about the MLB playoff roundup. And we have a few NCAA football big games that we're going to discuss. And we have some NFL notes. And we have a couple of MLB games going on tonight. So we're going to touch a little bit on that.
Nice. All right. Nice. So we got a big show to talk about. So
Absolutely.
Let's first address our first ever email.
First winner. No, we only have one
this
winner.
Is history.
Yeah.
History in the making. And you know what? Y'all keep clapping because I love it. H-Town.
H-Town.
So let's read David's email. David comes to us and says, "Hey guys, I'm a huge fan of them Stros. I got a huge question now that playoff time is in. What are your thoughts on Wade Miley in the playoffs, considering he blew his last 3-4 starts big time and gave up a lot of runs? Should the Astros bench him or play him?"
Wow. Well, I'm going to start this one off, Gemz.
All right.
And feel free to chime in, anybody here at any time. Wade Miley, big acquisition pickup for them. Pitched really well during the season. He He's been tearing it up all year. He had a bad 3 to 4 starts. He has a 3.98 ERA right now. Okay. He also is pitched in 33 games, but what David I think is asking is, since he got shelled in his last 3 to 4, outings, should he be worried as a big Astros fan? And I'm going to tell you more or less what I think real quick is I think he's just going through some mental problems right now. Not like mental illness. I think he's going
glad you cleared that up.
Yeah. I don't want the listeners thinking that. But, hey, baseball's a game where you got to think a lot, especially pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you're not in your zone or if you're not finding out what what is working and, if you're missing your spots and things like that, you lack confidence, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think he just needs to give the Astros, when he gets that start, okay, a good 5 or 6 innings just to get to their pen. If he can do that, I think that the Astros are going to be fine. And I think the Astros are going to be fine anyway in this series. I think they're going to take care of Tampa Bay easily. They're already up 1-0. But they've got such a strong pitching staff, but I think their offense can carry them, in order to, if he has a bad start or even has a real bad start and, gives up 5-6 runs in the first couple innings and they got to yank him. And then, hey, maybe it's not his time in Houston anymore, after this year. But right now, I think that they're going to be okay. What do you guys got?
I think he the big question is, when the going gets tough, does Wade Miley get tough? And apparently not. Apparently not. I think he needs to sit on the bench and kind of slow the game down a little bit. Like you said, it's mental. It's a mental block. He's in a rut. He has to dig himself out of this, and nobody can do it but himself. You're right. He has a strong team. He has a strong offense behind him that can do the plays. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's going to show up to play, and then some. Whoop, whoop. I'm an Astros fan. But he does need to take a little bit of time, sit down, think about the game, slow it down, play it out in his mind before he gets out there. Does he need to be on the bench? I think so.
What do you got, Gemz?
Well, I respectively disagree with Tay. And here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wade Miley, he won a lot of games, correct?
Yeah.
He won a lot of games. And how many games did he drop? How many games did he lose? 3 to 4 games,
Right.
So I get it, but we're in the playoffs now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they are playing against the Rays, right?
Yep.
So that's good that he went through that stage, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah, you could be right. It's happened. It
happens
before.
Right? Yeah. So all good pitchers go through a stage like that. It's all about how he bounces back. And check this out too. In the American League, okay, there are a lot of great left-handed hitters. Now, on the Astros roster, Wade Miley is a left-handed pitcher. Am I correct?
Yes.
He is. He is. So that's a benefit to the Astros. So my response to David would be, you know what? I wouldn't bench him. I would let him play it out. Okay, he's a major league pitcher. This isn't the first time he actually went through this. Like, these guys lost before. I get what you're saying, Frizz, about him being mentally off, off his game a little bit because, he lost, last 3 to 4 games. But you know what? They all have short memories. The pros. I think he could shake this off. He's a left-handed pitcher going against some great left-handed batters. That's a benefit to the Astros when it comes to that. The bullpen is great, too. They're relievers. So I wouldn't bench him. I would just keep going with Wade Miley. And if he does have a hiccup or two, they have the pitching cohesive group to get him out of that jam and the offense. So I would say don't bench him at all. Just let him rock out.
You make a good point.
That's a good deal.
Phenomenal pitching.
Hey, Dave, our last final message to you. Thank you again. And man, ride out with your team, even though he's on the mound. You got to root for him. I know you will be.
Yeah.
Okay,
shout out to Dave.
Shout out to Dave, and shout out to the Houston Astros representing here.
Astros.
Congratulations again, David. Email us your address, and we'll get that shirt on the way. Next email. Okay, we're gonna dive into that. Tay-Tay's gonna let us know what it is.
And this is Brandon Hepler, and I gotta send a special shout out to Brandon because I love the way he signed his email. Brandon, City of Champions, PA.
Oh, shout out.
I gotta respect that. Brandon says, big shout out to Frizz, Gemz, and Tay-Tay. Love the show. We love you too, Brandon. Keep it up.
Oh yeah, much love.
I got a couple questions for you guys. First question, if you could go to any college football rivalry game, what would it be? Who and where?
Okay, let's address that one real quick. Gemz, go first.
Yeah, so I'm a Penn State fan. So I would say any game within the last decade of Penn State versus Ohio State. It could be at Penn State. It could be in Ohio State. That energy. But I'd rather it be in Penn State for Whiteout Night, right?
Yeah, so, that's awesome.
Yeah,
100-some-thousand plus.
I know. So, Penn State versus Ohio State in the last decade. I know I could pick out a couple games and what years of that, but I'll just keep it short. But another game I wanted to add, though, we all were fans of back in the day, probably in between like 91 and 93, the Florida State versus the Hurricanes. I mean, those
you're talking
classics.
About maybe back there with the Charlie Ward days.
Absolutely.
With the QB and all those guys. Okay, yeah, those were some bangers right there.
Yeah, so those two games. I mean, I got to throw Penn State in there, but I know that down, with Florida State and back then in the early 90s with the U, I mean, those were great teams. So that would be another game that I would attend to.
Okay. Tana? T?
I'm a Texas gal. I'll definitely take Texas versus Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
So that's always a big rivalry there. They play at the Cotton Bowl. The energy is just amazing. You can't beat it.
The tailgating too is probably pretty awesome up there.
Texas barbecue, the best.
Oh man,
I don't know if Kansas City would agree with that, but go ahead.
That doesn't matter.
That's good. That's good. But I'm gonna kick it real old school, Brandon, and I'm gonna talk about the backyard brawl. That is my biggest rivalry that I kind of grew up on. Is Pitt versus West Virginia. We know it doesn't happen anymore, which it should. Yeah, but that Pitt WVU rivalry right there when they were in the Big East together was probably one of the biggest rivalries that I can remember, growing up and playing football and watching football. And just like Tay-Tay said right there with the energy and the fans and, everybody gets into it, even if it was down in Morgantown or if it was home in Pittsburgh. I mean, I just think that was one of the biggest rivalry. And I can agree with you, Gemz too, about, the Florida State-Florida rivalries. But there's 100 of them out there. But that's just answering Brandon's question. That's who I like to see, the backyard brawl. Gemz, you have Penn State and Ohio State. And Tay-Tay definitely had Texas and Oklahoma. So let's move on to Brandon.
Brandon has a second question in his email. Question: what's your way to early football college playoff picture look like? Who do you have raising the trophy?
That is early. You want to go with first, Frizz, or?
Yeah, way too early college playoff prediction would probably be Bama definitely in there. They're number one right now. I'm gonna have to go with Clemson, even though they had a scare last week with North Carolina. My surprise team is LSU. LSU, I think that they got it going right now. I think they could possibly sneak in. And then remember, this is way too early. I'm definitely going to say, Ohio State. I'm kind of going right in there with those four.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, and I'm going to throw a sleeper in there. I think it's different now. Any team could get in. It's not going to be the same team. So I'm just going to be very biased and throw Penn State in there.
Okay. All right. What about you, Tay Tay? Who are you thinking?
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with Alabama, Clemson, LSU, and Gemz is rubbing off a little bit on me here on this sleeper thing. I'm going to go with Texas.
Oh, the Texas girl is going with Texas.
Surprise, surprise.
They're going to have to
mine.
The table.
See, mine doesn't really make sense because I have Ohio State and Penn State, and that probably will never happen. But
yeah,
that's not going to happen.
Probably maybe playing the championship, and then what's going to happen?
That's
there?
It. Yeah.
So, Brandon, that's what we do here at Stadium Seats, okay? Yeah. We make stuff sometimes it doesn't make sense, makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's what makes our show special.
Exactly. So, Brandon, we really appreciate your love. Thanks for following us. Thanks,
Brandon from the City of Champions.
From the city of Pittsburgh, representing. So we got down south email and we got an up north email. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're getting there.
We're nationwide.
We're going nationwide right now. So what do we got about the playoff roundup? Who's playing who? What's going on, Tay?
We got the MLB playoff roundup. We have the Astros.
Against the Rays.
We have the Twins and the Yankees. We have Nationals and the Dodgers. I don't know if y'all saw that game last night. The Dodger game.
Yeah.
Y'all see that? And we have the Cardinals and the Braves.
Okay. So the playoff roundup for the Major League Baseball playoffs. Always exciting to watch October baseball, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, my team will never be in it ever again if they don't fire that owner, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Let's stop.
Okay.
Stay focused. Stop.
I know. I
Moving
wanted
forward.
to drop it in real quick.
Yeah.
Houston's up 1-0 on the Rays. They play tonight. Garrett Cole, the ex-Pittsburgh Pirate, who is an awesome pitcher.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. The Braves are tied 1-1 with the Cards. The Yankees are up 1-0 on the Twins. Kind of a shaky start from them yesterday, but they pulled it off. And then the Nationals and Dodgers are tied up. Nationals took that last night. So the playoff roundup, I guess, who I like to win in the National League is definitely the Dodgers. I think they're going to go to the series at least. And then in the American League, I can't say I do like the Astros to come out of there, but I think it's going to be between them and the Yanks.
Well, I guess I'll go next. I'm gonna, I like the Dodgers, but I'm gonna say the Nationals.
Okay.
I'm gonna go a little different. It was an exciting game last night. I like it the way it was played last night. It's going to be an exciting series there. So I'm gonna go with the Nationals coming out of with the National League there, and I'm gonna go with the Yanks. I think the Yanks they're gonna beat the Astros.
Yeah. The who?
What? I'm just wait a minute.
That's from Tay. That ain't from me.
Wait a minute. I'm just saying. I'm going for the Yanks. Okay. Over the Astros in the last game.
Yeah.
They're going to go to full series.
Okay.
Last game is going to be, it's going to be an exciting series, and I think it's going to be the Yanks and the Nationals in the World Series.
All right.
You got to switch it up. The Astros are a great team, but
I'm tired of seeing the same teams in there every year. I'm gonna tell you that.
Right. I mean, the Astros have been, they've been a solid team. They've been winning, so it's time to switch it up a little bit. And the Yanks got history of living, but they winning, but they fell off a little bit. Now they're back. So let's go Yanks.
All right,
let's go.
Let's go Yanks.
Let's not go Yanks. So obviously, no surprise. I'm going for the Houston Astros. No surprise there.
Think with your mind, though, not your heart.
They sync together.
Oh, okay.
They sync together when you talk baseball. And I'm going to have to go with the Dodgers. I like the Dodgers. Okay. I think they're a solid team. Obviously, you can't win them all. They're all in the playoffs for a reason. They're all great teams. But
doesn't it seem to you guys, though, like the Dodgers can't win the big game when it counts, though, right? I don't know.
I agree. I think
right? Like, I don't know. Like in the last couple of years, you're just like, oh, he had high expectations for the Dodgers, and it was just I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, I think being there the last couple of years, like you said, they got it down packed this year.
All right. Well, we'll see. Well, hopefully the Dodgers come out, but I got the Nationals, so we'll see.
Well, that rounds up our MLB quick roundup of the playoffs.
We got a few NCAA football big games
today. Locking.
And it's on right now.
Yeah, they're on right now. But the ones we're going to kind of discuss are
Texas versus WVU. Let's talk about that. Who y'all got?
I'm going Texas there. I know they're going up to Morgantown. They're both 3-1. Texas is number 11 in the country. The WVU is hard to play at home at WVU. It's a tough crowd. We know about the couch burning incidents and several years ago, and their fans get kind of rowdy up there. I kind of love it. They get kind of wild.
What's up with the couch burning incident? How do you know?
Well, back in the day, West Virginia, they won a couple big games, and the students just decided to burn couches on campus, and on the streets and everything. It was like a riot. It was pretty awesome.
Like true winners.
I like Texas in that ball game. I think it's going to be a close one, but give me Texas.
I'm going to go with Texas too, just because it's Texas.
Well, it's going down in Morgantown. I got West Virginia.
Okay, all right.
Come on, WVU. Let's go.
It's going for the sleeper.
Let's go.
We got Auburn and Florida. Tough game.
Biggest game of the day right there, Gemz, if you ask me.
It's going to be a good
Number
game.
7, Auburn versus number 10, Florida. They're both 5-0. Auburn is a -2.5 point favorite. I just don't think Florida's there yet.
I disagree.
I'm going Auburn all the way. I think that they're, a little bit more experienced. I do like that Florida's kind of back right now, but this is a true test for them. So give me Auburn.
I'll take Florida. I'm going against you.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Tay on this one. I'm going with the Gators.
All right. Shout out to the Gators.
Shout out to the Gators who's
Auburn.
about to take it.
Give me Auburn, though. I got to.
What about Iowa, Michigan?
Well,
they're playing right now.
Yeah, we know they're playing right now. So,
what's the score on that right now?
Well, let's talk about this, though.
Updated score.
Let's talk about this before we get into that Iowa and Michigan, because they're playing right now. How about Harbaugh on the hot seat? How you guys feel about that?
I think Harbaugh
should he be on the hot
absolutely.
seat? Absolutely. You think so? Okay.
Yeah, just like any coach on the hot seat, Gemz. If they're not winning,
But Harbaugh did turn this, this franchise around.
They're just not there, man. He's not the championship coach, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. So that's just my opinion. You ask me, I'm giving it to you, Gemz.
Well, all right.
Speak the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
Okay.
Michigan's up 10-3 right now.
Update on that score,
in the second
10-3.
quarter. So
let's hop on to tonight's game. OSU
versus Michigan State. Okay, number 4 versus 25 Michigan State. That's the second or third biggest game of the day. All the other ones are unranked. I'm going OSU all the way. It's going to be a blowout.
I'm going to agree with you there.
I'm going to go with Michigan State on that one. I just feel like there has to be a game where we get surprised and we're like, wow, how did that happen? So I think this is the game where Michigan State could go in there and steal a game.
How did you think that Michigan State's going to win when LSU's your playoff team? You think they're going to get in with one win?
LSU is not my playoff team.
OSU, Ohio State versus Michigan State.
Oh, yeah. It could happen. There's been teams in the past that made the playoffs with one loss. Like, let's go back. Let's look at it. Let's go back to last year. Let's go back to 2 years ago. What teams were undefeated that were in the playoffs?
I mean, that's going to take a lot of research on my part, but now
I know the majority of them was not undefeated.
Like I said,
So in the last couple of years, so you can have one loss and still get into the playoffs. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, you can't win them all.
NFL notes.
Jumping into tomorrow's games, we got a couple of NFL notes here. Packers, Adams, he's out versus
He's out
the Cowboys.
versus the Packers.
Yeah, that's a big loss, guys. That's a big loss.
Yeah.
I'll go first. I don't think due to that loss right there, because that's his number one guy. He gets a lot of balls and thrown from
shout out to
Rodgers,
Scantling Valdez. Gonna get me some fantasy points.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hopefully he does well. But I'm just saying, I don't think the Packers is going to be able to weather that loss right there. Because he is a talented guy, Adams, and what he brings to the table with that cohesive offense, with Rodgers at the helm. Losing him, it's just going to open up a lot of opportunity for the Cowboys to do some trickery on defense. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys this week.
Yeah, I definitely I think it's going to be a good game. I think that's going to be, that's one of our games that we'll kind of touch upon here today. But I definitely think that, having Adams out of that game definitely hurts Rodgers, even though he hasn't really balled out and threw over for like 250 yards all year yet. But, that's going to hurt him, and that they're at Dallas, tough place to play. So,
Okay.
I think the Packers still squeeze that out.
Ooh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, I think they do. What do we got next?
We got Gordon from the Chargers.
Yeah.
Coming back.
He's coming back. Gordon is going to get some action this week. He's going to split carries this week with, Eckler. And, what does that mean for the Chargers? Does that give them a spark or what?
Well, you know what? They were winning with Eckler. So, and they were doing okay. I see the Chargers as a playoff team. So I know that Gordon could bring what he could bring to the table. He brings a lot of, toughness of, especially running the ball. So that with that play action, they could really respect when you do the play action with Gordon, they're going to make a lot of those defensive players commit. So I think this is a good thing that he's back for the Chargers. I think he is better than Eckler, but they've been winning with Eckler. But adding Gordon, I think that could get them over the hump. So shout out to the Chargers. Glad he's back.
I think it'll definitely help the team. I think they'll stick, as the coach said, they'll continue to give the majority of touches to Eckler.
Mm-hmm.
But having Gordon back is definitely going to help the team out. Double threat.
Yeah, you're right. And then they're, having Gordon in that backfield, like you said, Gemz, on third down is going to help probably because he's a great receiving back. So we'll see what that does with the Chargers this week. What do we got up on tap?
Up next, we got your favorite team, Frizz. We got the Steelers and Juju.
Oh, we need to talk. Are we going to talk about the Steelers Raven
game? We are.
Like,
it's on tap.
It's
on tap.
We got to talk about Juju first because I need to know if I'm going to be wearing his jersey tomorrow or not. He's questionable.
Yeah.
Frizz, you want to go first?
Yeah,
on
real
that?
quick before we won't dive into the game. Really, Juju Smith-Schuster from the Pittsburgh Steelers is questionable right now. Well, as of this morning, he is. He's got a toe injury. I had a turf toe once before. I don't know what it is. It says toe injury. And if it's that, it's tough. It is like basically that injury is like a turf toe is when you take your big toe and you like bend it all the way back, kind of almost like you break it. And it's just hard to push off. It's hard to walk. I mean, I don't know what it is.
So they can't put support around that any type of way. No, it's just
not really because it's your big toe. I mean, but I don't know if it is. It just says toe injury. It could be something else. Maybe he needs a pedicure. I don't know, but
So, how do you think that's going to affect the team against the Ravens?
That's the thing we're going to dive into here in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
We'll dive
Because
in
that's
that.
going to be
we'll
about a
get into that.
5-minute conversation right there.
Maybe 10.
Well, you know what? Let's dive into it right now. We have
right.
the notable games coming up next for discussion. So
Absolutely.
let's start it off.
We got the Ravens versus the Steelers then. And, the Ravens are at Pittsburgh, -3.5. Go. Go. Do it. Knock it out.
I'm going with the Ravens, and this is why. Even though the Ravens been struggling on offense, Frizz, you were right in the beginning.
Thank you very much.
Don't feed his ego. Don't feed his ego.
No, I'm not going to feed it, but I just, when someone's right, I'm brave enough to admit that, I was kind of wrong in that situation there. When we talk about when it comes to Lamar Jackson, him throwing against the top defenses in the league there, he struggled a little bit the last couple games. But I got the Ravens winning due to the fact that Juju is hurt. And I don't know if Juju's going to play, but if it's a turf toe or something that's going to limit him, especially him exploding on the field. Look at the assets that the Pittsburgh Steelers have. They need a box office guy this weekend, and that's Juju. So if he's limited, that's just a big blow, especially Connor too. He's questionable. He's hurt. We don't know if he's going to go, or if he goes, will he be that explosive as well? So the Pittsburgh Steelers need all of their pieces in play to get this win here. Another reason why I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens is the way the Steelers' offense was last week. Okay, yeah, they pulled out the win, but look what they did. They threw the ball for like 5 to 7 yards on average and just let the running backs get the yards after the play. Like you can't win like that with Baltimore. You won't win like that with Baltimore. You got to throw the ball down the field. You got to start trusting in Rudolph here and start executing and getting Juju and getting these other guys involved. Even though that they're young, they're still learning. It's the NFL. It's time to show up. It's time to beat box office. So that's one of the reasons why I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens. And I think Lamar Jackson's going to, straighten up a little bit. He's going to bounce back. He's going to, they're going to give him some easy throws there. And then I think they're going to come out with the win.
I'm going to have to go against you, Gemz. I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Well, obviously. Go ahead.
James Conner is expected to play tomorrow. I know you said he was questionable, but he is expected to play. Juju is questionable. Although I was reading an article, his coach expects him to be there. Although how much he's going to help the team, I don't think he's going to be targeted much. But if you look at the last couple of games, he hasn't been a big target for Rudolph.
Mm-hmm.
So
he hasn't, but look at the teams that they played the last couple of games. They didn't really need him. Cincinnati they're terrible.
All right,
they're terrible.
I'm going to give my 2 cents real quick, and I kind of agree with Tay right there.
Oh,
give me the Steelers at home. Okay, absolutely.
On a platter.
Give me them at home. All right, I think they're going to win this game. I think this is Baltimore-Pittsburgh. This is one of the best rivalries in football, and everybody knows that. Yeah.
Is this still a rivalry, though?
Yeah. What are you talking about? It's been a Steeler rivalry for years.
Okay, that's another debate.
Yeah, well, you know what? We'll debate that someday. But yes, it is. You can ask any one of our fans, 2 fans, and they'll tell you.
2 fans. Hey, you know what? Don't hate on our 2 fans.
I'm not. But you can ask them, and they'll probably agree. But listen.
Go ahead.
Listen, let me talk. It's a big rivalry. It's going to be more physical than you think, okay? I think the defense is going to shut them down. I know we just played the Cincinnati Bungles, okay? We only gave up 175 yards. We had 8 sacks. Fitzpatrick gives some energy to this D. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Mason Rudolph, he's only checking it down, but the guy was 24 for 28 for 229 yards and 2 TDs, no picks. I am the biggest, Mason Rudolph hater once he got in there. I will tell you that right now. But, man, he gave me some hope. He gave the Steeler fans some hope. And I'm going to tell you what. We're beating Baltimore by 10 in Heinz Field tomorrow. We will go 2-3. We'll be right back in the thick of things. I said it now, and I'm going to say it again. Pittsburgh over Baltimore tomorrow.
We'll see on that one. I will be shocked if they win, but hopefully they do. But I'll be shocked. See, here's one thing about me that's different from you two. Okay, you two are diehard fans where you don't think with your mind. Okay, think with your mind on this one. Look at the last 2 games. You played against the Bungles. You don't even say Bengals. You say Bungles.
Bungles. That's because they are the Cincy Bungles. Shout out to my
terrible.
coach.
So yes, right. So yes. So Rudolph should have played well, and there was times where we were like, "Whoa!" Like we were losing at one time last week. So just tread lightly on this. It's going to take some time, just because he should have beat the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right, let's jump into our next game. We got the Falcons and the Texans.
Give me the Texans at home for sure, because the Falcons are a big disappointment this year. I thought they would ball out, but give me the Texans.
Surprise, surprise. I'm Texans too.
Who you got, Gemz?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with both. You guys.
Hey.
I'm going with the Texans.
Can we get a clapping audience? Thank you, because all three agreed on all three. Once.
Yeah. All right, one time you get that. One time you get that.
Thank you.
Pack Cowboys. Give me the Packers all the way in that one.
I'm not a big Cowboys fan, but I'm gonna have to say Cowboys, because I'm gonna try this new thing, like Gemz said, that you're a true fan and think outside the box for once. Think with your head. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
I'm going with the Cowboys too. Jerry World,
Tough place to play.
Got popcorn, hot dogs, stadium, barbecue.
You know what?
I thought about that burger you mentioned last time about the cheese.
Oh yeah.
Man,
burger, Texas burger.
Yeah.
You know what? Shout out to all the homemade meals out there. The meals that you can just come up with, like the special.
Oh my God. Talk about specials. Gemz, you know what a true special is?
I don't.
Oh my God.
We're going to talk about the special. The special, grab 2 pieces of white bread, throw 2
white bread you can find.
pieces of bologna on there, throw some Hellman's mayo on there,
and then top it on the cake
with nacho cheese Doritos.
That's what makes the special.
Smash that down.
Extra
crunch
special.
up those chips. Take a big, huge bite, and you got heaven right there. That is the bologna special. Shout out to the bologna special.
You haven't lived.
Shout out to the special. All right. I never tried that.
You got to try it. That's your homework till our next segment. You got to try that and come back with your own review.
Okay. I got something for you guys. Well, let's go to the next one, but I got something for you guys.
Bucks Saints.
Here's our last one. Bucks Saints. I got the Saints.
Okay. Ooh, I got the Bucks. I like what they did against the Rams, right? Like, you can't.
I'm taking the Buccaneers too, because Jameis Winston.
I like the Bucks, baby.
I got the Saints.
I'm going Buccaneers. They killed Goodwin last week, and Jameis Winston absolutely killed my fantasy team. I mean,
do you see that? The duo of the Bucks now. You got who the 2 receivers?
Oh, Evans, Mike Evans, and Goodwin. Yeah, I mean,
Mike Evans and Goodwin. I mean, that is once Jameson gets on,
they're tearing it up.
On the same accord as those guys. Oh man, that's scary. That's scary. I'm going with the Bucks. Let's go,
real quick
Bucks.
Updates.
Let's go.
Just some scores. LSU up 21-6. Oklahoma in a battle right now with 2-3 Kansas, 14-7. That game's approaching halftime. And then Penn State definitely taking care of business, 28-7 over at home against Purdue. Texas Tech, which is a huge surprise, is beating number 21 Oklahoma State 20-0.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we need a game. I think it's about time for an upset. Wouldn't you two agree with that? It's about time.
So shout out to the Houston Astros. Shout out to David in H-Town. Shout out to Brandon Hepler up there in Pittsburgh for the questions. We really appreciate you guys.
The City of Champions.
Well, I know it's the City of Champions.
Well,
I rep that place every day. You can find us on Twitter, Seats Stadium. You can find us on iTunes Podcast. You can find us on Spotify. Okay. You could also get us on YouTube. Okay.
And we love sports, everybody. We love sports. This is what we do. We love talking about sports and what sports do for the people out there in the community. They just bring us together. So again, for the fans out there that's listening, we just want to thank you all. It don't matter if there's 2 of you guys or 2 million. Now, hopefully it gets to 2 million. But if there's only 2 right now, hey, we just love talking about sports. So come on and join us. That's all.
And then remember, hockey season started up too. NBA is going to be kicking off here shortly. We're going to have a full slate.
The Penguins started off a little rough, right?
The Penguins dropped their first game of the season. So, we'll see. I know a couple of their players were a little upset. We'll have to get into that, and we'll have a little hockey preview next show.
I hope they kick it into gear here pretty soon when they come to play the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. I plan to be at that game. So
I got one question.
Go ahead.
Nice. I got a question for you and Tay.
Talk to me. Let's go.
Name a dessert, a tailgating dessert. Oh, man. Now, when you're tailgating, you could be in your house or you could be at the ball field because you could tailgate anywhere. That's my definition of a tailgate. As long as you're celebrating, eating, fellowshipping before the game, big game, that's tailgating to me. So what would be a dessert, a sweet
treat?
I'll
go first.
That you would pass around?
I'll go first.
No alcohol.
I'll go first.
Damn it.
Because I don't like desserts at all. I really don't like sweets. So just give me a cold one or 10.
It's not a dessert.
Just give me a cold one. That's my dessert. I'm not a big.
You're no fun.
I know. I'm not going to make up a lie here on Stadium Seats.
You don't like ice cream.
I'm lactose intolerant. There better be a Porta John really close by if I'm tailgating.
Okay.
So, hey, we keep it real here on Stadium Seats.
Well, I have to admit, I do have a sweet tooth. I try to keep it, down to a minimum, because I'm trying to watch my figure. But shit, honestly speaking, I will dig into any dessert available.
What do you got, Gemz?
Okay. Here's what I got really quick before we end the show.
Oh, wait. I do like banana pudding.
That's good. Banana pudding is good. So here's my tailgating dessert. Here's what you do. You make a pancake. It's called a ice cream
I'll be in the
taco.
Porta John.
Right. So here's what it is. Go ahead and make a couple pancakes. Okay. And then you get a book, put a napkin over the book, have the book sitting up, and then you put the pancakes over the napkin so it could form into a shape of a taco. Okay. Then after that, you got your ice cream. You put your ice cream in it. And then you put your sprinkles on it. And then your caramel sauce. And then your chocolate sauce. And then you put it back in the freezer and let it sit for like 10 to 15 minutes. Yes, it's inside the pancake. And then, so when they come out, you're eating.
It could be at your house, he said.
No, it could be at your house. You're throwing a party. Tailgating is anywhere.
You're right, but I just...
Okay.
Do your homework on that one. It's delicious. It is
so
delicious.
So when you take it out of the freezer after about 10 minutes, it should be ready to go?
It's set. So it'll look like a taco. And then you already have your sprinkles on there, your caramel sauce, your chocolate sauce. And it's just amazing. Oh,
did you come up with this on your own?
Trust
or is this something you saw like on recipe.com?
You know what? I watched the food channel, so it's all good.
Because I gotta say, this is not something that you would wake up and say, I'm gonna have a
Shout out to that
taco.
dessert. Sounds pretty good, Gemz. If
I'ma
there's
try
a
it.
toilet nearby, I'll hit it
Yeah.
up for sure.
Oh, God.
Hit us up on Seed Stadium on Twitter. Okay. Email us stadiumseatspodcast@gmail.com. Okay. Find us on all the outputs. Stadium Seats. We're getting out of here. Frizz, Gemz, Tay. Let's rock.
Yeah.
It's Frizz and Gemz and we back in the spot. Other podcasts, beware, we taking your spot. The way we sound on the mic is definitely hot. Stadium Seats, we on fleek, you can like it or not. A podcast, Stadium Seats, the stadium pack. We got the live broadcast and we bringing the facts. See the tailgate crazy, the fans they amaze me. Salute to all the fans who've been rocking with us lately. Each week, Stadium Seats, here we go. Number one show, that's us, let them know. So when we go live, the magic begin. Box seats, the box office, we call that a win. No secret, sports mania that's always within. Frizz and Gemz, history, let the show begin. Love.